I'm live. Melt everybody. I am Cantonese Cat. Hey everybody, Cantonese Cat here. I just want to do a quick live stream. I do have something I have to go to in about 15 minutes. I'm probably going to take a break before that. I'm doing a little bit of a stream on YouTube with my friend Garcia. I think Danny probably going to join us. We're not going to talk about charts. We're probably just going to talk about random things. But I just want to do a quick live stream here, talk about Bitcoin, talk about maybe Ethereum altcoins, miners, MicroStrategy. You can go for it real quick. First of all, weekly chart of Bitcoin. Basically, this whole thing right here with the trend oscillator, I didn't really alter these trend lines over here. Basically, channel is channeling up, is at the bottom of the channel. Looks like there's going to be a little bit of a bullish process going to happen soon. I mean, these don't always have to happen, right? I mean, they can always potentially fall down, and it doesn't have to happen, but it's just a beautiful channel, beautiful trend line. It looks like it really wants to kind of turn around. Even if you look at the Heikin-Ashi candle, Heikin-Ashi candle is a way for you to look at like 2 weeks of candle in a row. So it really helps smooths out a lot of the candles. What you're really seeing here is, when you have a downtrend, it really looks very, very much of a downtrend. When you have uptrend, it really looks, it really just smooths the whole thing out, right? And right now you see you have a pretty nice green candle over here. So I wonder, like, it really does look like it's going to be the start of something good here. What's up? What's up? Right back to you. So I am leaning more bullish. Again, I see like both sides. I see some bullishness. I see some bearishness. I'm leaning bullish because of a few reasons. First of all, it found support where it needed to find support at on the weekly Ichimoku cloud. There are two lines, right? There's a blue line over here, there's a red line over here. Red line's the baseline or kitchen, if you're into the whole Japanese thing. Blue line is the Tenkan. It bounced where it needed to bounce from, and it's breaking potentially. I would like to see the week really break above $62,748. I think it'd be important if it's able to close above that. If it's not, then yeah, it doesn't make me feel as good. It'd probably be more range bound over here. But I would really like to see that closing above 62,748. Hello. Hey. Yeah, I know. Like I actually see more bullishness than bearishness, but because of the last few months, really just kind of reset a lot of the catalyst here. Sorry, reset a lot of the indicators here, and really reset the whole sentiment here too. But yeah, I find this to be bullish. If I look at the Subaichi cloud, it reclaimed a lot of the the potential resistance here too. I really like to see the week close about like 63,123, somewhere around there. So yeah, I know there's also like a Bitcoin conference that are coming, and supposedly Trump is supposed to speak on that too. So I think it would be something good to do. I'm gonna talk about Bitcoin and go through a little bit more about miners, things like that, just to kind of get out of the way. If I have any extra time, I would certainly try to get to other stocks like Celsius and things like that. I do certainly think that there are some signs for concern. First of all, is still haven't really truly reclaimed the bull market support band quite just yet. And if you look at a Bollinger Band, it's squeezy, so a big move is coming, right? But is it going to be up or is it going to be down? Well, I mean, overall, it's been forming more higher highs and higher lows, so it's maybe a little bit of like a higher low over here compared to over here. So maybe the overall trend is going to be breaking above and go up. But right now, you are kind of hitting the 20-week moving average here as a resistance. So it does make me a little bit, worried, and maybe not really. Because over here, it looks like you got a little bit of rejection over here too, right? It did take about like 8 weeks or so before breaking above. I think the little difference between where we're at right now versus where we're at right here is that the trend oscillator, like it really starts to turn right around here, right in the middle, right? So we're kind of about to turn over here. So I think if anything, the equivalent point to this part over here versus this part over here, we might be somewhere in the middle. So maybe we have like a few more weeks of sideways to go, trying to break back above the 20-week moving average before going up higher. Meanwhile, the Bollinger Band squeeze, continue to happen. Could it plummet all the way down to like 48,000? Maybe. I don't really favor that scenario because overall this is a bullish market structure, and overall we are looking more and more bullish over here, right? Another thing too, you can just see like, its price went up. You have the trend oscillator went down. This is a hidden bullish divergence. So I think the entire thing just seems like it just wants to cool things down a little bit more. I am still leaning, bullish on Bitcoin. And another big thing too, I showed you guys before, is the Ichimoku cloud. You have a little bit of bearish cross over here, but like, who's there to say maybe this bearish cross is similar to this one over here, similar to these guys over here, or similar to these bearish crosses over here, right? Monthly is super delayed, so I'm not really I'm gonna take like monthly bearish cross here with a grain of salt for all I know it's already been played out. But the important thing is, if you look at Ichimoku cloud, we basically have the same thing that played out here as we did over here. The blue line has basically been serving as support, and we simply got way too far from the blue line. And right now we just came back down and trying to test, get closer to Tenkan, and then we bounced right off the Tenkan, the blue line over here. And to me, I think this is a pretty bullish, thing here. I mean, we still have another couple weeks left for the month of July, so this candle is not closed yet, but this looks like a kind of bullish candle here, doesn't it? We will see. Another thing I also find to be bullish is MicroStrategy also looks pretty bullish as well. And it's been doing pretty well. It really has been holding up pretty well here. I think that it's going to be hard for me to be too bearish on Bitcoin if MicroStrategy is actually outperforming Bitcoin. This is the MicroStrategy over Bitcoin chart. Over the last 3 weeks, it's really been outperforming Bitcoin. It looks like it's reclaiming the Tenkan and it's pushing the Tenkan up along with it. I mean, like, it's been outperforming Bitcoin, and with a leverage play for Bitcoin outperforming Bitcoin itself, that tells me that this is a pretty liquidable asset, because it's in the stock market. If anybody wants to buy MicroStrategy, they can. Anybody wants to sell MicroStrategy, they can. So there's going to be a lot of whales that are coming in if they want to play MicroStrategy. If they think Bitcoin's going to do well, most likely it's going to hold MicroStrategy up pretty well, right? Back here, when MicroStrategy was doing, was like toppy here in February 2021, and Bitcoin continued to make a higher high around like November 2021, but MicroStrategy never did. A lot of whales are already like, yeah, I don't know about this. Bitcoin looks kind of weak, maybe a little bit exhausted. You're entering wave 5 here, or you're entering wave 4 here, which is going to exit. That's kind of what it looks like over here. Right now, we don't have that problem. Right now, MicroStrategy is outperforming Bitcoin. It looks like it might continue, which to me, this doesn't seem like late cycle behavior. This seems like still pretty early cycle behavior. So Coinbase, again, same thing. It looks like it wants to break above the range over here, breaks above the tank, and so far just kind of got rejected. But overall, I want to show you something. I also kind of charted a little bit of this. I chart a little bit of this here for this Coinbase over Bitcoin chart. Looks like a symmetrical triangle here on the weekly. Looks like we broke above of it, and right now we're just simply doing a back test. Pretty bullish looking chart for this coin over Bitcoin chart, isn't it? I can't really be that bearish on it. CleanSpark. Oh man, you want to talk about CleanSpark? I'll talk about CleanSpark. It's been a rough week. It's been a rough week for a lot of people, and I don't really like playing options, especially not on CleanSpark, although I do see if you do a longer term options, it might play out pretty well. But just to kind of focusing on the weekly chart CleanSpark, it's just been stuck in the range for a few months. It's just been absolutely ridiculous. If I just zoom out, just do the Ichimoku cloud here, you can see that it's been stuck between these lines. Over you had a bullish cross over here, which favors bullish continuation, but you're hitting strong cloud resistance here. It's just been stuck here for about 6 months. You think that's going to break inside. It didn't. It ended up getting rejected, and it's been happening. It's consolidating over here, forming a very, very big bull flag over here, and it's been squeezing, right? If you don't look at the Ichimoku cloud, look at the Super Ichi cloud, which takes into account of the super trend. They also have a bullish cross. The super trend is still intact. But right now, just simply with price going sideways, is entering the Super Ichi cloud. So this actually favors, us actually entering the cloud here, at least on the Super Ichi. And that makes me feel that most likely either this month or next month is going to be the month where we actually do break inside the cloud and something good could happen. Although Bitcoin is giving us a little bit of a mystery here. If you look at the weekly, you can still see that it's still stuck in this stupid range here. It just wicked above all the way up here, and it got back down here. I know, yeah, it would have been an awesome swing trade. Like, I guess that the problem is when she make this like parabolic move up like that, you don't know if it's going to end up being stuck in range, but it ends up being stuck in range. Like these scalpers, they're loving this. You know, whenever it gets outside of range, you you do what you have to do to get back to the other side and make a profit. But the problem is that this range has been going for about like half a year. Eventually, it's going to break, and it looks like it wants to break relatively soon based on the Bollinger Band squeeze. You can also see like this week we just got rejected here pretty much exactly at the top of the upper Bollinger Band, and it's still squeezy. It's not ready to move yet. It's trying to reclaim the 20-week moving average. It is reclaiming the bull market support band. It's even stuck inside the bull market support band, right? This is so stuck. It's stuck inside the Fibonacci level over here too, like the 0.382. It's stuck behind this 0.382. If you do a Fibonacci sequence here from the cycle high over here to the cycle low over here, this is like got rejected right at the 0.382, right there. So there's a lot of like confluence basically saying that you're still stuck in the range. It's stuck in a range for so long that you got this big giant volume shelf over here. It's just right smack in the middle of it. Like a big move's going to happen soon. Right? And the big move is going to happen soon, and I favor this to be bullish continuation, just simply because it looks like it wants to break inside the Ichimoku cloud, and you had a bullish cross behind his back to really push things up. But yeah, I don't have a whole lot more to say about this. You know, like it's just been extremely painful. With that said, if you look at the again, it's also stuck in range here too inside the arc. But overall, it's been forming relatively more higher highs and higher lows, and right now it's been forming higher lows, been range bound. So I think most likely move is going to be up moving forward. I can start talking about some of the crazy targets up here. I can totally see if this ends up being a bullish continuation, which based on looking at MicroStrategy, I think is end up going to be a bullish continuation because Wells knows something usually, and they're bullish on MicroStrategy. So I feel that there's going to be bullish continuation, and I think could potentially hit some of the targets up here around like 150. I think is possible, but you still have a lot of resistance. I mean, we can't even get over this resistance right here, and here I'm talking about like 150. It's kind of silly, right? But those are kind of things I'm kind of eyeing potentially for the cycle, depending on how Bitcoin does. The CleanSpark over Bitcoin chart on the weekly is also kind of consolidating here a little bit, although I do think that if anything is kind of breaking above this, line over here. This looks a little bit more bullish. I actually think that CleanSpark may be a little bit still outperforming Bitcoin here, but it's also stuck in a range. CleanSpark stuck in a range. Actually, the other charts are more bullish. I'm going to go ahead and show you the other charts here. Mara looks a lot more bullish in general. Even Mara, though, even Mara is still stuck in range in a weekly. On the monthly, at least on the monthly, it broke out of the Tenkan, the blue line over here. The Tenkan's pointing up. This is a pretty bullish development. I think you're breaking out some pretty important resistance over here. It's still kind of stuck here at the underneath the Super cloud, and that's exactly where we got rejected from, right? And where are we at right now? Where it went back underneath the baseline over here. So it's still kind of somewhat stuck in the range. The baseline over here is around 23.83. The Super cloud is around 25.49, right? And we're just now challenging it for the first time. We got rejected. Not the end of the world, still stuck in the range here a little bit, but I think it's looking more bullish than CleanSpark right now in terms of its recent price action, right? For longer term price action, CleanSpark still looks like the king. But for shorter term price action, it looks like Mara wants to maybe break out a little bit earlier. On the weekly chart, you can still see it's also stuck in range, although it did bounce from the cloud and it wants to go up higher. And I'm never really that bothered by like these big wicks above. I don't know, like you get in a bull market, you get wicks above all the time. Like I'm not really that bothered by this big wick this week. I don't think it's necessarily going to have to plummet down. If it plummets down, you got a pretty decent thick cloud down here to serve as support. So I am still pretty bullish on this chart. This whole thing right here, it really does look very similar to this whole thing right here. Like I got a very, very similar vibe. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just trying to back test the bottom cloud. It actually overshot it a little bit. And over here, it looks like it's doing the same thing, just kind of going, forming a little bit nice kind of cup over here. And that's kind of the how do I say, that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting right now. Looking at the other indicators, there's really not much Fibonacci level resistance. It got above 22, so naturally it could go up to 33, where it got rejected last time. That would probably be a little bit of a magnet, but before that you have some resistance around like 24, 25 I just showed you. And then on top of that, it reclaimed the bull market support band over here. It got above of that, which just makes it more bullish compared to more bullish compared to CleanSpark. I know I never thought I would like what I say was not meant to change your finances. I'm more just interested in talking about these stocks rather than like telling you how to trade it, because I really honestly don't care. I hold CleanSpark, Mara, Bitfarms, Cipher, Irene, and Wolf. I'm overall a longer term bull trend, so I'm still bullish on Bitcoin. So I don't really. But hey, if it helped you, I'm glad. But just know that I'm telling you what I'm thinking. I'm not telling you what to do. Just know that. Bullish band is squeezing hard. Where did it get rejected at? Just like CleanSpark, right? It got rejected at the upper Bollinger Band. Mara got rejected at the upper Bollinger Band. But it's getting pretty squeezy. It's getting pretty squeezy here. Something big could happen. It's above the bull market support band. The bull market support band is flattening. It looks like it might end up getting dragged up by this week's price action, potentially moving forward too. So actually, Mara chart actually looks pretty decent. Mara over Bitcoin also reclaimed the bull market support band here, also got rejected at the Bollinger Band. What is up with all this confluence, right? Does it look like it want to potentially explode upwards? Potentially. Am I scared by these kind of wicks? Maybe. But bull market can happen with wicks pointing up, you see. There are a lot of people who get scared about these kind of like shooting star candles, but like it doesn't always have to work out. Like this also looked like a hammer top too, right? So it actually looks pretty decent. Looking at Ichimoku Cloud here, looking like we got rejected here on the on the Kijun on the baseline. So we are forming a little bit of a nice bull trend over here because it's reclaiming the Tenkan on the weekly. So it's looking pretty decent down here as support pushing it up, right? So Mara over Bitcoin looks like Mara wants to outperform. And you're just hitting a little bit of resistance here, which is not unexpected. Bull in Japan, baseline, everything's there. Like I don't need to. Like I'm not making anything. I'm just showing you what I'm seeing here. So in the short term, yeah, you get a little bit of resistance, but overall, looking pretty decent. Again, I'm not really that scared by that wick. Bitfarms is the same chart. It's above the Fibonacci level. I think it's going to gravitate up towards the 0.382. Just like how I think Mara might be gravitating towards the 0.382. It's the same chart, right? And if I just get rid of the GAN and the Fibonacci levels here, pull up some of the other level, it's the same chart, right? Bounce from the cloud, got rejected here to baseline. Like, why do I even buy it? Why do I even hold two separate stocks? Like, they're the same thing, Looking at what is the Supaichi showing me anything? No, not really. I mean, it looks like it bounced very nicely from the cloud over here. And if you look at the Bollinger Band, it got rejected at the top of the Bollinger Band. Not as squeezy as Mara, though. Mara looks like it wants to like do something crazy. Bitfarms, a little bit squeezy, but not too squeezy. But it's good that it's above the Bollinger support band. It's flattening. It's on the upper part of the Bollinger Band, so it's favoring some bullish continuation going up, potentially moving forward, right? Yeah, Cascas, welcome. And also like same thing with the Bitfarm over BTC chart. You reclaim looking pretty decent with the Tenkan being support, got rejected here at the baseline. Very same thing actually, like over here with Mar over Bitcoin and Bitfarm over Bitcoin. Like it's basically a very similar chart. So stuck in a range, but looking better. Cipher, oh man, Cipher. You remember what I told you about 7.8 being resistance? I did say that, didn't I? I did say that, didn't I? Like 7.8 to man, you guys are doing like these crazy things based on what I say. I'm not sure I'm comfortable with that, but I'm glad. Yeah, exactly. Let the chart telling you what to do. And I told you that around 7.8 to $8 is going to be a pretty important resistance zone here, right? And because there's some price history here, because the 2-week Ichimoku cloud is right there, and also because it's a very important Fibonacci level. I mean, like 0.5 is technically not like Fibonacci, just half, but still a very important level. Together with very strong, confluence over here, the 2-week Ichimoku cloud. I thought that was going to break out towards the end of this, this confluence zone over here. It ended up breaking out, and when it broke out, it went beast mode, and it got rejected, and it got rejected hard beast mode. Right now, I got back down underneath the 0.382 over here. So kind of on the similar boat, I guess, with the other stocks. They're all below their 0.382, but Cipher, man, it really has broken above this very strong 5.5, right? So because of that, I can't really be that bearish on the chart. I can potentially see, Cipher maybe consolidating here a little bit more, but I can potentially see it kind of ride up the angle up to the higher levels. And Cipher is also looking better in many different sense in terms of, the weekly like oscillators pointing up. So first of all, I want to show you a couple of things too. Going back to CleanSpark, you have the oscillator pointing up, although, it's been kind of consolidating here up and down, but so far oscillators pointing up. Mara is pointing way up. Bitfarms it hadn't had a bearish cross. It looks like it wants to just keep going up. Cipher is going way up, right? Irene is going down. Wolf looks like it wants to have a bearish cross. We'll get to that here in a sec. But yeah, 7.8 resistance. Now actually get back down below like 6.11. But I still like the fact that it broke out above this very long-term resistance level over here. So I can see Cipher pulling a little bit of like Irene here, maybe over the next like few weeks to a couple months. But today's market just wasn't good, so it ended up, unfortunately, it was way overextended anyway. I'm gonna get rid of the GAN here. It was way overextended anyway out of the Bullish band. Like it was just going to hit like 7.8 or 7.9 in a hurry. It was going to get rejected. So, there's still a bull trend. It still looks very bullish. It's just too far, way too fast, and it's just wait for a Bullish band to expand. That's all. Even on the monthly, like that move was way overextended. It just couldn't be sustainable, so it just went back down. But right now, it's still outside the upper Bollinger Band. And the oscillator is still pointing up. So like it's a bullish chart. I don't have anything else to say. I have a position. I held it. I don't really care to trade this move. If I would have sold, I would have sold at 7.8, but I didn't because it's a conscious decision that I make. I'm not gonna be like trading in and out of these. I'm just gonna try and play the primary trend of these things. Cipher over Bitcoin on the monthly turned bullish, and the Cipher by itself, again on the monthly, just kept on going up. So I'm still pretty bullish on this stock longer term. It broke above a very important resistance level here, so I'm pretty bullish on that. Irene, what are you doing, Irene? I think Irene is overextended. I've been mentioning that it's still overextended. It's still above the upper Bollinger Band here on the monthly. It's got a very kind of nasty tweezer top kind of thing here on the monthly chart. Initially, it had a full Bollinger Band expansion, but this week has just basically caused the Bollinger Band to start contracting here again. On the weekly, though, it's not as overextended anymore. But because of the current move, it did end up resetting the oscillator, and now the oscillator is pointing down. Do I think that it's going to go down a lot more? Do I think it's go down to like $8 or something like that? Possible. I don't think it has to. I think it has support levels right here before potentially going down further. And even if this is a bearish cross here on the weekly, I see it as this. Like once you have a bearish cross, it might already be a delayed indicator. Kind of like over here, you have a bearish cross. There's a little bit of a delayed indicator. And I would say like, over here would be maybe a little bit more equivalent to like over here. So you may not have that much further down to go. But yeah, I mean, it's just way too far overextended, so it had to do this move. I actually wonder if Irene's going to pull, a similar thing like what, CleanSpark did, and it might end up, just kind of consolidating here for a while, maybe even longer than a lot of people would expect, get people bored, and then it goes up, right? But if you're talking about some of the, important levels, I mean, like the Ichimoku cloud, you got a couple of support levels right here around 9.6, 9.65, somewhere around there. On the Super cloud, you have, you're already kind of broken underneath of these kind of support zone above. So I guess they're no longer really truly valid at this point. But again, you still have some some Ichimoku cloud baseline here around 9.6. It could potentially be a pretty good area for it to bounce. If you're looking at the bull support band is rising up, you're talking about maybe you have like 8.8 or maybe like 7.8 somewhere down here. Also potentially serve as pretty good support, right? This is going to go down from there. No, like it's never a guarantee, right? But it is less bullish compared to all the other four charts I show you: CleanSpark, Mara, Bitfarms, Cipher. Currently on the short time frame on a weekly, they look more bullish than Irene. It is just what it is, guys. And also, again, very big confluence of resistance up here from Fibonacci low 0.5. ARC, rejected and falling back underneath the ARC right here. It still had a bunch of support down underneath, so I'm not necessarily worried it's going to end up hitting this angle over here, especially if Bitcoin just kind of goes sideways, especially if the liquidity still goes up pretty well. It might end up doing a little bit of like a diamond kind of thing and trying to push above the ARC and go up higher. And it could take a while. It could take like, another 2 months or something like that. But I mean, I still hold a position. I'm not, I bought like down here on the floor, so I don't really care. Wolf. TeraWulf. What is TeraWulf doing? TeraWulf is also looking like it's getting rejected, isn't it? Also looking like we're in an area that is a little bit overextended, kind of like what Irene did a couple of weeks ago. I'm not trying to scare you, of course. Still plenty of support levels down below, including the 0.5 right here at around $4.5. It could potentially bounce right there. The bull market support band is way underneath here around 3.3. Do I think it's going to go back down to 3.3? Not necessarily. The Ichimoku cloud has a tank indication around 4.2 and around 3.8. So you have some like rising support there coming to catch up. The Super Ichi is going to be a little bit closer. You have a good little confluent zone here at the 0.5 Fibonacci level, right around like 4.8. And the Tenkan is also, from the Super Ichi cloud is also rising up too, right? So maybe 4.8 is going to be a pretty, strong support level. Underneath, where is that going to be? Like 4.2. And the top of the Super Ichi cloud, 3.8, right? So a lot of kind of these confluences in terms of, support, So I still think that it's going to do okay, but it might end up consolidating sideways here for a lot of people before maybe going up further. That's Wolf. That's Wolf. You want me to talk about BTBT? I can talk about BTBT. Where did it get rejected at today? Right, the horizontal zone right here of my GAN. Couldn't really quite get up to the 0.136 and $5 quite just yet. No luck before, getting rejected over here, which is not a surprising move, to be honest. But looking pretty bullish still. Like I'm not seeing this trend necessarily exhausting. It's just hitting some resistance here, And if you look at a Bollinger Band, the Bollinger Band tells you what you really need to know is that things just kind of got overextended for the last few weeks. It's just cooling down. It's just touching the top of the Bollinger Band over here, right? Can it go down further? It sure can. It's been going up nonstop for like 3 months now. Where's some of the support? We're at support right now. We're getting pretty close to the top of the Ichimoku cloud. We had a bullish cross over here. We broke above the cloud and back testing it. Big deal, right? Could it go down lower though? Possible. But you also have like these, support levels over here, like 3.28, 3, bottom of the cloud here is 3.1. You have a lot of support underneath below. But if price goes from here, going like, drop 50 cent down, you're talking about like minus 20-25% move. A lot of people are going to have getting scared. But if it ends up doing that, it's just going to be form a higher low before continuation. It gets stuck in the cloud here for a little while before going up. But yeah, I mean, I just want to tell you that it's looking bullish. It's hitting resistance. It's been going up for a long time. I don't think it's as bad as like Irene or Wolf necessarily, because the oscillator is still pointing up. It still might have some juice left. But I like the Mara chart, Bitfarm chart, and Cyber chart better, just in comparison. That's all. If I was going to buy a miner that I don't have, I think BTBT would be one that I'd be interested in. Hut, whew, look at that nasty candle. Look at that nasty candle. And looking like the oscillator might want to roll over. Is it surprising when, Hut gets rejected right around here? No, because look at how important of a resistance zone over here for like 2 years, right? It's just been forming a double bottom, and you think it's just going to push through right outlet? No, you think things are just going to go straight up for like 3 months and not going to get rejected at a very important resistance level? No, And but it's looking a lot more bullish because it's above the Ichimoku cloud. So it ends up coming back down. What are some of the support levels to look up for, right? 14 and a half. The Tengen could keep rising up a little bit higher. If it breaks 14, it's going to go to like 12.3. That's probably where I'm going to see it. It's way outside the upper Bollinger Band on the weekly. It's not sustainable. So minimally, I think it's probably going to come down and touch the upper Bollinger Band maybe next week or two, maybe even close underneath the upper Bollinger Band. I just don't think this is sustainable. And the candle pattern here is telling me that. So yeah, the Bollinger support band is like way underneath over here around like 11, 12. I mean, I don't think it's going to necessarily go down all the way down. But if it does go down to 14, the Bollinger support band will be serving as support. And it could push price up higher, and that could be a higher low before breaking up of this crazy zone that has been ongoing for like 3-4 years now. I don't think it's going to break about that easily. I don't have much to say about CORZ. CORZ look like it's a very bullish kind of look to it. Initially, it was way overextended, and right now, no, it's not overextended anymore. It's just simply going up together with a rising upper Bollinger Band. That's all I have to say about CORZ. I don't have anything other. There's no chart. There's nothing to chart. Riot. What did Riot do? Riot got rejected where I thought it was going to get rejected at. You remember I was telling you the other day, $13, right? Got rejected right there. Got rejected at the baseline. Got on the weekly. Got rejected at the bottom of the Ichimoku cloud. Got rejected by an upper Bollinger Band. The good thing about Riot, I'm going to turn off all this. I'm going to turn off the Ichimoku. It's a little bit busy. The good thing about Riot is that it looks like it wants to reclaim and turn the Bollinger support band flat. The oscillator is flipping bullish, and it looks like it's squeezing, right? So if it looks like it's squeezing, a bigger move is going to come. Is it going to come up, or is it going to go down? Could be either way, but the oscillator is pointing up. And I was just on Space with I don't know if you guys know, like A-Trade's crypto. I was just on Space with him. He was just talking about, I don't like this wick over here. I guess a lot of people get scared because like sometimes with a wick, it can really signify like a top and a bottom, like, I really don't like this wick up here. The only argument I have against that would be if this is truly a bull market, which again, it's just been a sideways market. But if this is truly a bull market, I would not get scared by a wick like that. Just like I would not get scared by this wick over here. Just like I would not necessarily get scared by the previous bull market. I'm going to turn off the Bollinger Band here. Just like I'm not going to get scared by all of these wicks above. Basically, Riot's bull market rides up on these wicks above, right? Wick, 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 wick. Where else? Wick, 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 wick. Like if you're worried about these wicks, and if you wick right here too, if you worry about these wicks and you think that it's like a top candle, I don't know. Now, there's no guarantee that what I'm saying is right. I mean, next thing you know, like Riot could go down to the single digits. I don't know. I don't have Riot. I don't care. There's always that risk, right? And also the bonus support band is kind of weak. It's pointing down still, so it's not necessarily going to serve as pretty decent support. Riot could potentially go back to single digits. That's a possibility. But if it does, it's going to have some pretty strong support down here. You know, I was showing you like a couple months ago, I was drawing a two, you know. I thought that Riot was gonna, like this, what was the bottom for Riot, and you know, sure enough, it bounced up, but it just kind of fell flat. Went back here to the angle, found support again, went up, got rejected at where you thought it was going to reject at, and right now it's just kind of stuck in the middle. But so far, the trend is starting to turn a little bit more bullish. So I am not too bearish on Riot. I would not buy Riot because I think the other charts still look better. Even the CleanSpark chart, I would argue, even the CleanSpark chart, I would argue also look, you know, still look better than Riot, because CleanSpark is like way above the, you know, weekly Ichimoku cloud, right? It's just stuck in a range over here between the Tenkan and Kijun, whereas Riot, yeah, Riot just starting to get above the Tenkan over here. It got rejected here by the Kijun, but it looks like it might still have some work to do, you know. You asked me about the overall ETF for the Bitcoin miners, the WGMI. I would say this: it looks bullish. I don't have anything else to say. Like, look at how they had a bullish cross here on a weekly, and it looks like it's just pointing up. It's been forming nothing but higher highs and higher lows since like December 2022. I don't have anything else to say about it, you know. If you're looking at in terms of what, you know, why we end up having a bearish week with miners, well, you know, maybe it's just simply we got way too far extended and it just came back down to reality, because the Bollinger Band is like, no, you know, you're not ready yet. But the Bollinger Band is expanding. The upper Bollinger Band is pointing up, lower Bollinger Band is pointing down. It's expanding. It looks like it wants to go up higher. It just needs the element of time. That's what it looks like to me. You know, if yeah, there's nothing else to show, like the Sofichi Cloud, all that. Let me just zoom out here to the monthly and see if I see anything interesting. No, bullish cross up a little bit too far extended from the Tenkan, but not too bad. You know, where is it looking with the Sofichi? Yeah, it's just flipping the Tenkan from resistance here to support, it just going up. Yeah, boring. I don't have anything else to say. Do you have anything else to say? I don't. I'm going to go through, I know you guys, somebody asked me about Celsius. I don't have much to say about Celsius either. All I can say is I'm going to turn off the Sofichi and turn on the Ichimoku. It did lose the baseline down here. So, you know, to me, I'm a little bit, you know, on the monthly too, right? So to me, I'm a little bit more cautious, because so far the chart is looking, you know, weaker and weaker. Could it have a nice bounce in the short term? Yes, it can. It did stab into the weekly Ichimoku cloud. Could potentially find some support around like $48. Yes, it can, right? But if it does go to $48, you're really talking about potential double top right here. And let's see, from like 66 all the way up to like, yeah. I mean, like, yeah. So it could go down further if you think this is a double top, but I'm not here to scare you, you know. But I think we're getting close to some pretty important support zone down here. And I think the bottom of the cloud around $48 is going to be pretty decent support. If you look at a Bollinger Band, it looks like it's expanding. It looks like there might be some further room to go down, right? Where is the lower Bollinger Band right now at $48? You know, it does look a little bit like a falling knife. So I'm a little bit worried. Could there be some short-term bounces where you just can't retrace back to the mean and you end up making a bunch of money from it? Possible, but I'm a little bit worried about this look over here. So I probably would not enter. It also broke underneath this Ichi cloud here too. But anyway, let's see how it reacts at 48. I bet there are going to be traders like looking at Ichimoku and end up buying at 48, and that's going to give you some, you know, pretty decent bounce. Even if bounce from the bottom of the cloud over here to like the top of the cloud, that's still nothing to sneeze at, right? That's $10, you know, going up. But yeah, it's a falling knife, so be careful. That's all I have to say. La 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 la. I do want to show one other thing before I go, and I do have to go soon in like a couple minutes, so I'm not going to show you too much, but just going to show you the trend wave oscillator for a lot of cryptocurrencies here. Bitcoin weekly flipping positive. Ethereum weekly potentially flipping positive. Solana already flipped positive. Chainlink about to flip positive. Dogecoin about to flip positive. Shiba Inu about to flip positive. Bonk flipping positive. A very small cap altcoin AMP that I own flipping positive. Jasmy not yet flipping positive but flattening. Randar not yet flipping positive but flattening. ADA Cardano already flipped positive. Medic flipping positive. Cody flipping positive. Cortesi flipping positive. Near flipping positive. Graph flipping positive. HBAR flipping positive. Injective already flipped positive. AVAX Avalanche flipping positive. Optimism flipping positive. LivePeer not yet, but about to. Elrond or Multiverse X EGLD flip positive, right? I mean, like this is the altcoin market that you're looking at. You might have a little bit of retracement, but overall the trend is turning, more positive. This is a weekly chart, so like, I would totally potentially see it like kind of plummeting down before going up further. But yeah, it really looks like it's turning around the corner, and I think like even though Bitcoin is looking a little bit weaker and weaker today and this week, I do think that there are a lot of people watching what I'm watching. And it does look like price wants to close above all of these like potential resistance levels here. But I think it would be important to see where it closes. If it closes above all of these potential resistance zone up here, the highest one being $63,123. It was able to flip all of this stuff over here. Then people think if it ended up getting rejected by these levels over here in the conservative resistance, then you might go sideways here for another few weeks to maybe even like need like the Satoshi cloud to kind of push up higher. But I think the trend may be turning positive for a lot of these things here. I also want to show you too. Now that I'm just one more minute, then I'll go. Right, one more minute. Turning off of this. Let me turn off this. All that crap right here. All that crap right there. One more minute. Look at Ethereum. Ethereum is like yeah, I want to break above, but no, I'm getting rejected here. The ticket, right? Ticket is 3,392. Right now it's just right underneath of that. So we'll see. I mean, I really like to see the week close above that, but if it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. It might just end up getting stuck here in the range before breaking out. But I want to show you something here. I want to show you that basically the cryptocurrency market has been respecting the Ichimoku or Satoshi cloud. Ethereum bounced from the 2-week cloud, beautiful, right? Solana bounced from the 2-week cloud, beautiful, right? I can't do this on X. So I can just like click and I can show you like on X. I'm gonna have to like, it's gonna hurt my fingers to like copy and paste all these things. On Chainlink, bounced from the bottom of the cloud, looks like it wanted to reclaim the cloud, right? Doge, let me see. Doge, 2-week Ichimoku cloud, bounced right at the bottom of it. Very, very nice candle, right? Shiba Inu, let's see. Shiba Inu, I saw something earlier. Yeah, I guess it's Shiba Inu's a little bit difficult to tell. I mean, I think it did bounce from close to the bottom of the cloud over here. I'll take that, right? Bonk. What did Bonk do? It doesn't have a 2-week cloud. Bonk bounced from the bottom of this cloud right here. AMP. I'm going to show you the 2-week cloud. Bounce from the 2-week cloud. Jasmine's just inside the cloud. ADA bounced from the 2-week cloud. Cody bounced on a 2-week cloud. Like, I'm not making this up. Like, this is crazy, right? Graft bounced from the cloud, right? HBAR went down a little bit below, but if I look at a 2-week, it bounced from the bottom of the cloud. I'm not making this stuff up. What did Total do? I'm going to go back to not Total, look, others, right? Cryptocurrency market excluding the top 10 coin, right? Bounce from the cloud. I'm not making this stuff up. Anyway, I got to go. Yeah, I show ADA. ADA actually looked pretty decent too. Maybe not at the weekly because on the weekly it looks bad, but on the 2-week, it actually looks pretty decent. And also the trend oscillator has also flipped positive on the 2-week. Anyway, gotta run. All right, take care. If you can, one more thing. If I'm gonna join Garcia, if you guys want to subscribe to his channel, we're just gonna talk. We're not gonna do charts. I think Danny and I are gonna try to go on his channel. We might do a live stream here in about 7 minutes. I'm gonna go use the bathroom and load up on water, and I'm gonna join his live stream here a little bit if it works. It's my first time doing it with him. We'll see. But yeah, his handle on YouTube is Garcia. So check it out. I'm trying to support my bro here. Anyway, take